Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Hello. We are back on our pop-up conversations, weekly conversation with my beautiful co-host, Lorna and Michelle. Hello, my beautiful ladies. Are we
Hello.
back?
How's everybody out?
This is good to be together again, and with everybody
So,
who's watching live and by replay. This is exciting.
Yes, yes, yes. Let us know. Hello. Let us know where you're tuning from. Say hello, and let's dive deep into our conversation for today. So we were talking about mirroring, how mirrors are giving us and what is telling us, and the wisdom what a mirror is there for us. And the same that we're talking about what I was mentioning earlier about the amazing book, talking about imago relationship therapy, which is basically how we mirroring each other when we talk with our partners, whatever that is, your business partner or your life partner. We all mirror with each other. And what is the thing? We all, who is the best people that triggering us, and the best self-development people in this life that they're triggering us the most? Our partners, and business partners, or the people that we spend the most time with it. Those are the people that are always going to mirror back to you what you're not seeing in yourself. And let's dive a little bit this. Why this is important to understand that the people that triggering us the most are the people that are here to help us to see the things we're not here to see, and how what we can learn from the people around us, because there's always something to learn, especially in a business, especially have business partners or a team. They're always going to trigger something inside of you. Now they're going to trigger things in you, and you don't, sometimes you're like, why this is happening, why do I feel this way? And how can we learn from the people around us? What they are here to mirror back to us? Ladies?
oh well, Lorna, do you want to take a stab at it first? Because I've got okay. Well, I thought this is really interesting what you said, because we talk about our mindset and our self-image being sort of the compilation of the five people, the people closest to us, the small group, 5 people that are closest to us that we spend our most time with. And but then you think of also that, that mirror effect where we're learning about ourselves. So then when we have a partner or an ex-partner or like you say, a business partner who, shows up, and then we're like about it, then we're like, oh, we have that opportunity to kind of go, I wonder what was in there for that. And I was talking with Alan Muliger today about something that came up, and he was saying to really take those opportunities to instead of saying, oh geez, I wish I didn't have that reaction, or oh, it shouldn't be like that, or whatever, to go, that reaction that was brought up in me is actually a gift, that because it exposes something for me that would otherwise be dormant and come out and hamstring me when I least expected it. And so thank you, universe, source, person, whatever, for uncovering that, and let me study that more so that I can delve in and unhook whatever it is, and to be grateful for the opportunity to do that, right? So but when you said sometimes these things don't come up until after you've made that identity shift. So like if you recently started to do any sort of development work or work on yourself, or shift the people around you, and your mind is doing that thermostat thing where, okay, no, my identity was this, and now you're changing it. Oh, that's not safe, better bring it back down, or depending on how you look at it. But that your identity is like that thermostat your brain is always trying to get to. And so when you start to make shifts, I think some of the error things come out more, and you don't see it until after the fact because you've changed. And then you look back and go, holy crap, that's what I was, or that was the thing that I needed. Or you're staring into the new part of the mirror and you're going, wow, that's intimidating. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to become. How does that? And so everything is just such an interesting reflective piece about coming back to, what it can teach you about yourself. And I love how Lorna always frames it as the mirrors, merry-go-rounds, and what's the other M?
Movies.
Movies. So I'm sure you've got something to say about this though too.
Yeah, I love the mirrors. And the first time that mirrors really came into awareness for me was, I'm going to say, probably 35 years ago. And I was driving from my sister's place, and there was the ditch, and it had just rained, and there was this beautiful, the ditch was full of water, and there's this big, beautiful rock there. And it was so full of water, and it was so still that literally you could see the reflection of this rock in the water. And it was just so beautiful. It was that thing of, like, it's so still and so seemingly seamless. You can't, where does one begin and the other end? Where does that shift happen? And so that's what that visual has stayed with me all of these years. And then in my own midlife sexual awakening, the role that the mirror played for me in that awakening piece. Sometimes it seems that when I talk about, the mirror, when we look in the mirror, we see the opposite of what is. We don't see what is. We see the mirror, the opposite image. So the same as, we look in our Zoom, to however we have our Zoom set up, right? Sometimes we have the mirror image. And so we see that, but that's different than when we flip it the other way. It's kind of like, wow, is that what I look like? So this whole idea is kind of a little bit discombobulating, because we have this sense of, oh, that's who I am. And one of the things that I've loved about looking at mirrors is that how can we know sometimes when we're looking into a mirror, or the mirror around us, whether it's person, situation, is when when there's any element of judgment, that somehow this sense of blame, or this sense of they're so amazing, which seems to reflect back that there's something less than here. So unless we can just literally just see, wow, here's what it is. If there's any sense, and judgment is saying that something is good or something is bad. We often think that judgment means we're judging something as negative, wrong, bad, all of those things, or less than. No, judgment saying that's better, this is better, I want to get to here. We're judging that what is good is better than what is. And so to be able to anytime.
Yeah, so then does that, so I'm interested in that, like, so when that difference of reflection, that judgment, you're taking that and perceiving that, and what does that say about your, like, is it your values? Is it your mindset? What is it that it speaks to?
Yeah, great question. I would say that it speaks to that perception of who we are. So if there's that piece about somebody is like, wow, they're so brave, they're so whatever, there's that reflecting back to us the sense that I'm not brave. Or this part of, I'll never be that good, so whatever it is. So sometimes you can look at, and I think to one person that comes in, who's in my world, who is very, very capable of speaking about their strengths and their great qualities. And sometimes that just really agitates me. It just seems like they're just always going on about how good they are and how they're just so excellent and the expert in this. And there's a part I just, but then I realize, okay, what is that mirroring? Where am I not able to acknowledge where my strengths are? Where am I not able to claim my expertise or my experience? So it's looking at different things. And again, the old thing about, anytime you're blaming somebody, you're pointing, you're doing this, you're doing that. There's always, one finger pointing out and the other fingers are pointing back. So can I look here? Oh, what am I ready to, what do I have the opportunity to, whatever I'm pointing to them about, good or bad, it's, can I claim that for myself as well? Adrienne, how does that fit in with what the Imago piece of what you do?
I just love it. Wait, I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
Yep.
There you go. There you go. I'm back. I'm back. It was freezing. I don't know if it's for you or for me. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. You know, the thing that I have learned too in one of the there's many courses and things I have studied, it's when you point, when you do this, like you said, one finger goes there, but then 3 times more. One of my mentors told me, you might point on one thing, but 3 times more of that quantity of that thing that you're sharing or you pointed to other person, you have 3 times more of that in you. And then I got like, what? I'm not like this, not 3 times more. This is I got like
Appalled.
literally, that's how I reacted. And my mentor looked at me and it's like, you just show it to me. You just prove it to me that you have it 3 times more than the person if that I'm like, damn it. But yes, when it comes to one thing I learned from one of these mentors, he told me, said, instead of doing this, if you close this finger, so say I show this way so you can see it like this, and you close this finger stays up. So from the moment when you start blaming people and you turn your fingers toward you, so all your attention is on you, what you left with okay. You are okay. And this finger shows going up. That means from the moment when you start blaming people and you start looking at yourself, that's when you start going up. That's when you start developing. And that for me was like, it stuck with me. I was like, such a beautiful analogy. It is true, but you have to, I think, to live it on yourself, to go through it, to be able to experience it, to understand the power of, you know, taking fully responsibility for your own actions and reactions. And also I think it's a muscle that you build. More you start seeing the people and asking yourself, coming back to curiosity, coming back to asking yourself questions. Interesting. The people, like the things I don't like in this person, or whatever this person pissed me off with, I wonder in one situation, I piss off other people. I might not be that way, but I'm sure I have behaved that way somewhere else. And the universe is beautiful because it's always going to come and balance it. Whatever other people, you know, trigger things in you is because at one point you trigger things in other people, and it's here to balance you. And on the other side, when it comes to mirroring and the imago therapy, in the imago therapy, it's called imago because it's coming from the Latin word like imago, from the image. In Italian, imago is mean image, which is mean the same like mirroring. So in any kind of relationship, but the most important, the relationship with your partner, when you go into a conversation, they say that the imago is that instead of people sitting talking like this, I ask the person in front of me to sit face to face, eyes to eyes, heart to heart, and knees to knees. Because in the moment when you stay face to face with someone, something happened. Your brain waves connects with the other person brain waves. Your heart, the magnetic vibration between you and the other person is start connecting. So you connect so deeply with the person in front of you. And the imago says that imago therapy talks about not blaming the person, but bringing back to what they say. So basically, if say me and Lorna, we do the imago, Lorna says something about me, and then I come back to her and said, I hear, Lorna, that you said, and I repeat what she says. That makes 2 things. One, if Lorna says something about me and I repeat it to her, now Lorna has the opportunity to hear herself what she said through me, because how many times we say something, we think we said something, but we actually came out something else of our mouth. And until someone doesn't repeat what we said, we don't even know, we're not aware of what exactly we said and how we said it. And the second thing is that when I repeat to Lorna, now Lorna feels heard and seen. So it's a win-win for both of us. And that's when the fights, the conversation, the conflicts are so almost unexistent because we're not producing a friction anymore. It's just a cup, is that waving coming up and down between us. And then we replicate it. Then Lorna said, I say something, Lorna repeat it, and I listen it, and we doing this. So now both of us, we heard each other, we seen each other, and there is no more misinterpretation between our communication because we came very clear with which one what we had to say. And that it's
I love that. And there's a certain level of awareness and development that when when you're at that level you can do. What do you think you should do if your partner is doing the not repeating back and dismissing and the part where they're they're not wanting to see in the mirror, or they're not wanting to reflect to you? How do you that resistance to
definitely. It's such a great question, and there's like some people, do you think my partner or my business partner is gonna do this? Like, get me out with this bullshit. So they might, give resistance, and it's normal to have resistance. But what you can do it in a form of a game, of an experiment. You can use it as the moment, like, look, I'm doing this course and this is my homework. So now they know it's not for the rest of their life. It's just an experiment that you're doing it. And most of the people, they are willing to participate with you when it comes to as a game, and empower them. Say, look, I need your help. Who doesn't want to help? I need your input and your help in this to exercise. Maybe if we do this exercise, maybe you think I'm crazy and now you can see I'm crazy or not. Just make it a fun. Make it in a fun way. So they always think of this question. It is used in marketing so many times. What is in for them? What is in for them to participate to your shenanigans this time? Find something that you can blackmail them in a nice way, or find something that they will benefit.
Reward based.
Yeah, so reward based in this. As an example, if my partner doesn't want to do this with me, I find something that they are intrigued about or want a solution of a problem we have. And I say, look, instead of him doing this with me, I'm going to do it with him. And I said, I give you the opportunity to say anything you want. And I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm not going to judge. Whatever you wanted to tell me and you never had the courage to tell me, I promise you, this is your time. Let's do it. So find something that is in for them to actually want to do this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how's that resonate with what you see, and how the masculine and feminine reflect together, Lorna?
It's a great question. And I think that it seems, and I recognize that I see that a lot. It seems that when we have a perception that feminine equals female or woman, and masculine equals male and man, that right away there's, and again, looking at the mirror, when we see that, we are seeing or perceiving as if there is a separation from us. So I like to look at it that anytime I see, whether I'm thinking about a man or a woman, male, female, if there's anything that I'm attributing to them as a gender or a certain energy, then it's okay, what of that part of me am I feeling disconnected from? So for example, we're in a place where there's a lot of, we're in this journey of, the feminine rising, the sacred masculine, this whole awakening that's happening for everybody. But if we look at this aspect of, males are this, or man is this, or women are this, or women are that, then I see that as a mirror. What part of me that seems to be outside and separate from me is actually mirroring back to me that part of me that feels and is experienced as separate from myself. So
right,
if I'm saying, and I you know, I work with this deeply and intimately, is if I'm saying that, and I even take it down to the part of not only masculine, feminine, female, but even our form, is if there's some part of the masculine that I, as a woman, am feeling I can't trust that, I actually look at, where am I not even able to trust my body? Because masculine is form. And so to start to be able to look at all these different layers of different things, where is it that I am not leaning on my own masculine? Where am I not realizing that my own masculine is here within me, here supporting me in this journey? With men, there can be this part where this aspect of, oh, don't want to be, you know, don't cry, where how men have been taught so often, you know, don't be a wuss, don't, you know, you're crying like a girl, you throw like a girl. So right away, that part of the feminine part that seems outside is judged. Oh, I don't want to be that. But that's the very part of themselves that is shut down within them. That part that they have not been able to embrace and recognize the integration of that feminine within them, that ability to receive, that ability to express. And so that's where I just see the world around us by divine design is made to look as if it is separate, as if it is this duality, for the very purpose of, we think it's separate. What a great way to hide the treasure of the wholeness of the oneness within.
So what about the notion that, yeah, because I'm like the discussion so far has sort of been like that which is outside of us reflects back what's in. What about the notion that if we are connected to our divine and higher selves, and we are here as a spiritual being having a human experience, and we have chosen and arrived on the planet to experience a set of curricula on Earth School, and that we're going through this learning, and we're resonating, and we're attracting in, and like resonances attract, and that we not only attract things in, but we also generate things from the field by how we resonate out. So how do you think the whole mirror concept fits with that idea that we are actually generating the hologram, generating what's in the mirror, to as almost like as a virtual reality simulation, you know, like we're wearing VR glasses without wearing VR glasses, that this life that we have generated is coming out of us. How do you think the two, the mirror thing reflecting back to us, I guess, is just that thing that we're creating? Is that did I answer my own question? How do you feel about that?
The way I see it is that as long as I am saying that I am creating my reality, I'm still living in the mirror. To come to that place that, oh, there's the mirror, there is no I. That's the story.
My God.
Yeah. It's you know, that book, that I am, or it's a book from Sagat. I cannot pronounce his name. It's one of these gurus in India, and it's therefore I am, or that I am that, or something like that is the name of the book. And it's a heavy book. It's hard to concept and grasp the concept that he put in that book, and it's a conversation between this character and a person that go visit him. And they mention about this idea that every single time you start associating yourself with identity, you already lost the game of life, because once you are in the identity of something, then you are in the game. One of the people I follow, I think his name is DJ Mindset or something like that. he talks about the different layers of consciousness. So then we have the unconscious, the subconscious, and then you have the consciousness, and then the supreme consciousness, which is the awareness of the all of us. I didn't even know we're gonna go that deep, but there you go today. And no, I freezed again. I'm still there.
Yep, you're here.
Okay. So he mentioned about that most of us, we live like, he made the association with the Mario, you know, the game Mario. When you're playing the game, most of us, as analogy with our lives, we think we are Mario. We think we are the Mario. So that's the unconscious part of, we just, the autopilot. We are the Mario, we playing the game, which is called life. But then the Mario, it's played, it's into a TV. And there's this TV, it's controlled by some buttons. And that buttons are controlled by a person, let's call it, by a game, a person that plays the game. And that's kind of the layers of consciousness. We have the layer of whatever is happening with us is who we are now, we think we are. But we don't know that we're living in a game that is played by someone else that is controlling the game. And then he goes even deeper to that, which is very hard for us humans to comprehend. That is the idea that you can just put the game down and there's no more game. And that's when you're fully detached of everything. But then I was asking, okay, so then if we fully detach of this game and this mirroring, that whatever the player plays, we play in the game, and we mirroring back to what is showing us through what buttons is playing. And I said, but what's the point of not playing a game if you have a game? So he said, it's a choice of us to play the game, because if we play the game, we can experience itself, whatever that energy it is. The only way it can experience itself is through playing the game. It doesn't have to experience itself because it already know itself. But the only way it can experience is through us. Like Lorna said, separate the masculine and feminine, separate ourselves, separate the consciousness to the consciousness, the unconsciousness, and make them in layers. So it gives us the opportunity to experience every single piece of who we are humans, experience this life. And that's what, when I realized that, even I still now struggle with the idea of, it's a game, we're playing a game, and we don't even have to play the game. We can just completely not play the game. And that is something hard. I think maybe the few people in this world that grasp what that feels like, to be nowhere and everywhere in the same time, to be nothing and everything. Those are energies that I think few people have the experience to feel them and understand them.
Or at least that you're like you're at different stages of figuring it out, right? Like, you know, I've heard Master Ko from Tony Robbins' world explains it a couple of interesting ways. Obviously the one where, you know, like we aren't our thoughts, we aren't our emotions, we aren't our body, we are the thing that is like using those things to experience, to generate those experiences and have learning and you know sensations from them. Another way that he explains it is you know that if you have a musician playing the piano and making music, the musician, you know, it can produce, it can be noise or it can be music, but the musician is not the piano and is not the music. So that you have to separate those layers, you know, to be able to understand, you know, who's the producer, who's the mechanism, and what's the product, right? and sorting that out in terms of our consciousness is hard, because like it's all integrated together, like in this body, mind, and soul experience that we're having. So thank goodness for mirrors.
Goodness for mirrors. What a beautiful conversations. And that's why I love our pop-up conversation weekly, because we never know where it's gonna take us. And we went from mirrors to deep dive into conscious and subconscious and Mario playing Mario and piano. So you never know with us. You never know with us. We love to hear from you. We have a couple of people watching. We have Diane, Michelle, Scott, and we have Michael. Say hello, hello. Good to have you here. We'd love to hear your guys' takeaways and your thoughts when it comes to mirroring. Do you know that? Do you work with something like that? This is something that you're applying in your life. What is mean to mirror? What is mean? Do you believe or you have this concept of people mirroring back to you and you mirror back to them? Well, I would love to hear your guys' takeaways on this subject for sure. And
Or
also,
what the biggest thing you struggle in the mirror with? What really,
yes,
aside from road rage, you know, what really pisses you off, and what might it say about yourself?
yeah, what this says about you when you are pissed off with your partner? Interesting. Or your business partner make decisions for you and you want to kill them. How that looks like? What are mirroring back to you? You know, the practical stuff we're talking about. We talk about mirrors and we talk about coming people together and learning from each other. Let's talk about a little bit our micro summit that we are so excited about. Let's talk about that a bit, ladies.
That's
Who wants
exciting.
to go?
That's Saturday, so we're just a few days away from it. 12 to 2 p.m. on Saturday, the 12th of April already, and yeah, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And we've got 5 amazing speakers lined up that will be joining Adriana, Michelle, and I as co-hosts, and just really featuring these 5 amazing people who are members of our community here. And yeah, the topic is sleep. We really felt it was really a great thing to look at the many facets of sleep and how do the various people that that come from their different different modalities, perspectives, trainings, life experience, how do they each approach sleep? How is it impacted? What does their work do to play a role in sleep? So really excited for this panel thing. So it's not a matter of, you know, here's a speaker at this time. It's kind of like, no, this is going to be just a beautifully woven together conversation, discussion, sharing of insights, sharing of and explorations and curiosities around different things. And it's really a great way to feature these people. And also, as we're sharing it with the people through our own socials and the whole piece. And those of you who are watching here in our group, please take the post and share it around. An opportunity for people to come in and find out some ideas, some solutions, some different ways of understanding, some learnings and some unlearnings about sleep from our experts that are joining us.
I love
Yes.
this because it's like I took interdisciplinary sciences in school, and this approach that we're doing here is we're coming at a topic from a bunch of different angles. You know, we've got a midwife doula, you know, a brain to belly specialist, a registered nurse into ageless living, you know, a proper sleep optimization coach, but then things like self-care specialists and how to maintain things. And I know that Lorna and Adriana are going to bring the fire in terms of, you know, like sex and sleep and brains and sleep. So I'm really excited to see this. We're going to drop the registration link in the comment. Also, though, the week following, we have another connection circle, and we have our provider circle that we'll probably mention at the conference there. But Lorna, when we do this, it's going to be kind of like a panel format, but then is there going to be opportunity for like a hot seat question and answer to get, like, if you have, so folks who are having trouble with sleep can maybe get their questions answered, or what can you tell us a little bit about how we're going to roll?
Yeah, that'll be a really great way. We do have the 2 hours, and in that time, you know, giving opportunity for the speakers to each share about the work that they do. And then as we go through the different rounds, similar to what we do in our connection circle, is just giving time for each person to respond to a question or a scenario. And in there, yes, if people, because we're going to be streaming into the group, yeah, we're going to be doing the micro summit and streaming in, so people have opportunity to put their comments in beforehand. We'll We've got the things where it's advertising it. So if you've got some questions, put them in there. And if you are watching live while we're doing the micro summit, put your questions in there so that we can address them, and we'll absolutely make time for that. So
Yes, we are so excited to have this happening. It's our first micro summit, and we're gonna have many more coming. And also, if you have a subject that is burning and that you think is more important to bring it up, we'll love to and open to your guys' suggestions as well. And also, you have people that are interested into this summit and they're interested in the subject, and you know that might benefit of this, invite them to the group, and then welcome them, send them the registration link. It's a free summit, so it doesn't cost you nothing except your beautiful time that you invest in yourself to be able to learn more and get some insights from, like, fresh off the press insights of each expert that we're going to have in this panel. So we're looking forward to see you there. If you have any questions, please let us know, connect with one of us, and we're looking forward to see you then. Take care of you, beautiful people. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
bye all. See you next time.